Hello friends, welcome back. We are seeing control statements, right? We have seen operators and control statements. In this class I would like to talk a little bit more about operators and control statements, which we have already seen, but yet it's just to make you aware of how important to know about the different operators and control statements, how they work. Okay, maybe you feel that operators are so easy, we know now all the operators how they work, but sometimes you will not be having an idea how the operator works. Okay, let us take some examples and let me explain you guys that how do you remember or how do you understand the operators. Okay, please make all these notes which are useful. Okay, let's move on and let us see an example program and continue. Now let us take, I have a code like this: int a is equal to 10, and I say debug.log a plus plus multiplied by a plus plus. Okay, then I say debug.log display the value of a. Let us save this, and can you tell me, just pause the video and without executing this code, can you tell me what output we get? Now let us understand, let me save this and explain how it works manually, and then we come to this execution part. Okay, manually we do first. Now what we have here is an important part. Okay, let me copy this. We have this code, and how it works, let us understand. Okay, now what happens when this line will get executed? We know that the system will create one memory location for a, right? It will create one memory location for a and initializes it with the value 10. Correct or not? That is what happens. It is of 4 bytes also. After that it will come to the next line. Now let us understand this part. If you remember, we have learnt the associativity and precedence of operators. We have seen the precedence of operators. We have remembered the shortcut bu, ma, sre, BLCAC. This is a precedence. Precedence means which operator need to be evaluated first. If you see here, unary operators are having the highest precedence than the multiplication operator. Plus plus is a unary operator, right? And multiplication is a binary operator, which is a multiplicative operator, which has the less precedence than the unary operators. Now how do we evaluate, how exactly it evaluates? I hope you remember what code we have here. Actually here we have two statements. A plus plus means what? A is equal to a. This is this one statement we have in this place, and we have a is equal to a plus 1. Correct or not? Two statements we have in this one. That is a post increment. After that we have multiplication sign. Then again we have two statements, a is equal to a, then a is equal to a plus 1. Now let us understand how it works. So when we say debug.log, first a is equal to a will get executed. This is the first step. Okay, that means a value is 10. 10 will be assigned back to a. So a will be 10 only, no problem. So this place it is going to replace by 10. So a is equal to a. This one statement will get executed. You will get 10 here. Then after executing that, it will go to this statement. Before I hope you remember, when the control moves to the next statement, okay, next statement to get execute, it has already executed this one. Okay, it will execute this, then actually it will come in this place, you can say. When it moves to the next line or a next statement, it has already executed that a is equal to a plus 1. Now a is going to become 11. Okay, remember that. A is going to become 11 when it comes to this place. Now here a is equal to a is going to get executed. So a is equal to a means 11 will be assigned back to a. So here this place is going to get replaced by 11. Understanding? So 10 into 11 is going to be calculated. You are going to get 110 as the output in this place. Then after this, okay, after executing a equal to a, right, it will move to the next line, that is debug.log a. Now before it moves to this place, it moves to the next line, it has already executed a equal to a plus 1. So what happens, a is going to become 12. Before it moves to the next line, it has executed this, so a is 12. Now when you say debug.log a, you will get the result as 12. That is the current value of a. So you will get the output 110 and 12 on the screen. Let us see whether we are getting or not. If I run the code, we should get the result here 110 and 2. You can see that we got result 110 and 12. I hope you are understanding how this post increment operator works. Or you can analyze how the expression works. The most important thing is you need to know each and every operator precedence and associativity, how those operators work. Let us try one more example. Okay, let us take this one, multiplied by a plus plus. Now I have one more a plus plus. I have kept multiplication and how it works. Can you analyze and tell me? Just try yourself. But let me explain how it works. Okay, let me copy this. Control A, I delete this, and again I will explain in this place. Let us understand. So what happens when the control comes to this line? It will create one memory location called as A, and that will be initialized to 10, and it will come to the next line. Now here again you need to understand what and all we have. We have here a is equal to a first line, then a is equal to a plus 1 multiplied by a is equal to a, we have, then we have a is equal to a plus 1, then multiplied by, then what we have, then we have a is equal to a and a is equal to a plus 1. Now let us see what happens when this statement will get executed. This is how it is behind the scene. Okay, first a is equal to a is going to get executed. So this place will get replaced by 10. Then it moves to the next statement. Before moving to the next statement, it has already executed a equal to a plus 1. So a is now going to be 11. Remember that a is going to be 11. Okay, now here a is equal to a is going to get executed. This place is going to replace by 11. Then it moves to the next statement. Before moving to the next statement, already a value has got incremented by 1, which is 12. This statement will get executed before it reaches to here. So this place is going to get replaced by 12 because a equal to a is going to get executed. Okay, then it has to move to the next line. The next line is to display the value of a, right? Before it executes the next line, it will execute this statement, which is a equal to a plus 1. It is going to make it 13. Okay, then we are displaying the value of a. Current value of a is 13. So here you get the result 13. Here you will get the result 12 into 11. 12 into 11 is how much? 132 multiplied by 10 is 1320. We should get this result. Let us check it out, right? I think I'm correct, this math. Okay, let's check for calculator. We will use CALC calculator and check out 11 into 12 equal to 132, multiply by 10 is equal to 1320. It's correct. So let's see whether we have analyzed properly or not. I hope you are understanding clearly how the code works. Excuse me, I have not saved the previous code. Let me save this code and come back and let us run the code now. You can see that we got the result 1320 and 13. I want you people to understand this. Maybe you get this in interview, or maybe such a situation you will get in a future. Okay, maybe you will be saying that increment the value, multiply by increment. So analyze the problems, the expressions. That's all. Okay. Can you try this? Plus a multiplied by a plus plus. What might happen? Okay, you just need to do the same operation. How it works, you just need to analyze properly and just run the code. That's it. Analyze. But this time you will be having the different operation, like first plus plus, then a. Let me copy this and try explaining. Okay, now what happens? Can you analyze? It will be having a memory location a, and that will be assigned to 10, and it will come to this place. Now this time you have here a equal to a plus 1, then you have a equal to a, then you have multiplied by a equal to a, correct or not? You have a equal to a plus 1. This is how the statement is. Okay, now let us understand what happens. First, it will execute this statement, a equal to a plus 1. Now what happens? A is going to get increment by 1, which is going to be 11, and this place will get replaced by 11. Okay. After that, it will go to this statement. Before going to this statement, it will execute this a equal to a. That is same, 11 only. Here you are telling the same thing, a equal to a, 11 only. After executing that statement, it has to go to the next line, which is debug.log a, the current value of a. Before displaying the current value of a, this has to get executed, right? A equal to a plus 1. So a equal to a plus 1 makes the value 12. And we will display the value of a, so we get the result here 12, and here we get 11 into 11, which is going to be 121. So we should get 121 and 12 on the screen. Let us see, and let us run and check. You can see that we got 121 and 12. So I request you guys to please try writing expressions and evaluate them and understand how they execute. Which is very useful to know how the operators work. Okay, knowing the precedence of operators, associativity is very useful. I hope you clearly understood how the expressions work. Okay, let's move on to the next step. Okay, now let us take, somebody asked you to display whether a number is prime or not. Good. So we know that. How do we do that, right? We first create one variable called a number, which holds a value itself, the number itself. And I create one boolean variable is prime, which is going to be, I set it to true in the beginning. Then I check for loop, right? I have to loop through I is equal to 2 to max, that is the number, less than number. Right? We know this already. I have explained how it works. Then we check if the number is divisible by any of the I value, right? Then it is not a prime. What we do, we just say that is prime equal to false, I said, and then we say break, because we do not want to check for the next number, right? Then after that, if is prime is equivalent to true. Okay, if it has not changed, if it is same as before, if it is true only, then that number will be prime. So we say debug.log and display num is prime, right? Else what we do, we say debug.log num is not prime. Just say like this, very simple step, right? You save this one and run the code. You can see that we got 10 is not a prime. That we know, already we have seen. Now let us take, somebody told you that I want to know the first number which is dividing this number and which is not a prime, which is telling that this number is not a prime. I want that one. We know already that in this place we are checking whether this number is divisible by 2 or divisible by 3 or divisible by 4. We are checking like that, right? And when a number divides it, we are setting it is not a prime. So this is a correct place where I can say debug.log, okay, and which number is dividing. You can display that by using this variable I, because I is holding all the dividers, right? So I can say here I divides num. So here what happens, it will display that 2 divides num and it will break, and you come here 10 is not a prime, like that you can display, right? Let us save and run and check. If I run the code, you can see that 2 divides 10, hence 10 is not a prime, right? I hope you are understanding. You need to analyze the codes. You need to think, how do I solve a problem? If somebody gives me a problem, how do I solve? Which is the correct way? Now I would like to explain about loop. We have seen unary, not a unary, what is that? Linear loops. We have seen quadratic loops, right? There is another type of a loop which is called as dependent quadratic loop. Let me show them. For I is equal to 0, let me make it I is equal to 1, I is less than or equal to 5, then another for loop I will write. At least let me show this one first. Debug.log display the value of I. Okay, this will display first I is equal to 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All 5 it will display, right? I hope you know this. Okay, let's save, come back and run the code. Now we got the result 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, nice. Now what I do, I create one more for loop inside, which is going to be for j is equal to 1, j is less than or equal to 5, and j plus plus. Okay, then I say here debug.log, I will display the value of I. Yeah, I just want to display the value of I in this place. We know that, okay, no problem. We will understand that very clearly. Yeah, that's a good idea. Let us save this. If I save this, how many number of times the value of I is going to get displayed? 5 into 5, total 25 times. So let me make it smaller so that it will be much more better to understand. Let us take it 3. Okay, 3. So we will get the result here 9 times. This I is going to get execute 9 times. This not I can say this code, this block, right, is going to get execute 9 times. Now let us save and check what is happening. Then we come to understand the code. If I run the code, you can see something interesting over here. What we got is when I is equal to 1, okay, let me explain this. When I is equal to 1, this is going to get execute 3 times, right? 1, then 2, then 3. 3 times it is going to display the value of I, which is 1, 1, 1. It has displayed. Then I is going to become 2. When I has become 2, again it is going to get execute 3 times. So it has displayed the value of I is 2, 2, 2, you can see. Then I becomes 3, right? For 3, it will execute this loop again 3 times. So you are going to get 3, 3, 3. Nice. You got 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3. That is because of outer loop, which is 1, and inner loop is executing 3 times. We are displaying the I value. Let us take, I want to display here 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. How do I display that? Very simple, right? You know already, instead of I, if you display J, you will get 1, 2, 3. Why? Because when I is equal to 1, this loop is going to get executed 3 times. J will be 1, so 1 will display. Then J is going to become 2, it will display 2. Then J is going to become 3, it will display 3. After executing this, I will increment to 2. So 2 is less than equal to 3 is true. Then again it will execute this one 3 times. Again J is equal to 1, then 2, then 3 it will display. Then it will go back I plus plus, I is going to become 3. Then again this is going to execute 3 times. So it will display 1, 2 and 3. Let us save and check just for the clarification. Let me clear this and run the code. You can see that we got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now let us step further. Now this time I am going to replace this with I. This time it is not a constant value, not a 3 or a 4 or a 5, something like this. Okay. Now this time the inner loop is dependent on the outer loop, value I. Such loops are called as dependent quadratic loops. Now this time, instead of J, let me display here the star. Okay, just a star I will display. And I save this. Let me display, it is better I display J only. Let me save this and clear this one. And I will explain how it is executing. You get an idea. You can see we got 1, 1, then 2, then 1, 2, 3. Why we got like that? Here we have 1 executed 3 times, 2 executed 2 times, 3 executed 1 time. So first time, better I make a paint. Let's come to paint, which is very useful. Let me copy this code and come to paint and execute here those code. Okay. So what happens here when the control comes to this line? It will create one memory location called as I, and I is going to be initialized to 1, and it will come to this statement whether I is less than or equal to 3. We are checking. Yes, it is true. As the condition is true, it is going to execute this part. Okay. Now what happens here? It will create one memory location called as J, and J will be initialized to 1, and it will check a condition here whether J is less than or equal to I. You are checking whether J is less than or equal to I. Now this time it is dependent on the I. I is actually 1. Yes, that is true. As the condition is true, it will display the value of J, which is going to be 1 on the screen. After executing this, it will go to j plus plus. J is going to become 2. Correct or not? Now it is going to check this condition. Whether j is less than or equal to 2, the condition is false. As the condition is false, it should come out of this block. Correct or not? So 1 has got displayed once. 1 has got displayed once. And after that, the control came out. You need to note one thing here is, if I is equal to 1, this loop has got executed only once. Okay, that you need to remember. When I is equal to 1, the loop has got executed once. Okay, that you need to remember. The inner loop has executed once. Clear. Next, let's go to this page. Now I is going to get increment to 2. So I is going to be 2. 2 is less than or equal to 3. That is correct. As the condition is true, it will come inside. Again it will execute j is equal to 1. J is going to become 1. Okay, j is going to become 1. And it will check this condition. J is less than or equal to I. 1 is less than or equal to 2. Yes, it is true. As the condition is true, it will display the value of j, that is 1. So we get here 1 output, then j plus plus. J is going to become 2. 2 is less than or equal to 2. The condition is true. As the condition is true, it will display the value of j, that is 2, onto the screen. Then it will go back j plus plus. J is going to become 3. 3 is less than or equal to 2. The condition is false. As the condition is false, it will come out of the inner for loop. Now can you see here, when the I value is 2, the loop has executed 2 times. Are you understanding? The inner loop is now dependent on the outer loop value. That is the reason it is called as quadratic dependent quadratic loop. Okay, let us move further. Then it will go back I plus plus. This time I is going to become 3. Okay, I is going to become 3. Then it will check the condition whether I is less than or equal to 3. Yes, the condition is true. It will come inside. Now j is equal to 1. Again the j is going to become 1 here. J is going to become 1. 1 is less than or equal to 3 will be checked. Yes, the condition is true. As the condition is true, it will display the value of j. We get 1. Then j plus plus, that is j is going to become 2. 2 is less than or equal to 3 is true. As that is true, it will display the value of j, which is 2. Then again j plus plus, j is going to become 3. 3 is less than or equal to 3 is true. It will display the value of j, which is 3. Then again j will be incremented by 4. So 4 is less than or equal to 3 is false. This will come out. The control will come out. You can observe that when I is equal to 3, the loop has executed 3 times. Inner loop. Then it will go back I plus plus. It is going to become 4. 4 is less than or equal to 3 is false. As the condition becomes false, the control comes out. Are you understanding? This is called as dependent quadratic loops. Okay, I hope you guys understood. So please try these things by yourself and give different values over here and experiment. Okay, for this class this much is enough. Thank you guys. Thank you very much. See you in the next tutorial.